something that I've learned at the ripe old age of soon to be 36 is that you can't have triumph without trials, tribulation, and tragedy. Those are kissing cousins. You know, you can't have one without the other. And where you go with it is up to you. And, you know, my life was one hell of a roller coaster ride, and it started the first time I stood on those yellow footprints. Yeah, I mean, and it started way before that, man. It started, you know, I definitely had trauma before the trauma. I think the majority of us do, because we live in a very spoiled first world society, and we forget that we're mere mortals. There's nothing special about us. We're all the same. We were all just living, breathing sacks of skin.
Check.
You know, that's it. And so when I started Boot, it was one of those deals where the the mindset started of, and I already had some leadership skills thanks to football and team sports, and I'd learned that growing up, and then in high school I really got to hone those leadership skills, which really helped me in Boot. I mean, I really believe in team athletics because it's like everything. No matter what you're dealing with, the greater good is always going to be bigger than you, always. And you have to hang on to that humility and that I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude being a dude. I'm just a dude playing a dude trying to be another dude. But you know what I mean. It's you realize often if you're really trying to do something that's worth doing, you're reminded often how human you are.
Yeah. And you know, I used to tell my guys, if you're doing something for the right reasons, you're going to win in the end. Like, and that means if you're doing something that's going to help the team win, you're going to win in the end. You're going to get what you want. The things are going to go the way you want. If you're doing something for your selfish reasons or for the wrong reasons, you're going to lose in the end. Now, you might, both those, the person that's doing it for the right reasons might lose some battles along the way. Mm-hmm. The person that's doing it for the wrong reasons might win some battles along the way. But the end game, person, if you're doing the right things for the right reasons, if you're looking out for the team, if you're doing it for the good of the team, you're going to win. And if you're doing the opposite, eventually you're going to lose. That's the way it works.
That's it.
Yeah,
you're 100% right. I mean, and you know what? The history books, they'll get it right.
They do. They'll flushes out every time. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes 10 years. It takes decades. But the people that are doing the right things for the right reasons, they win.
Yeah, and it's like I tell guys all the time that I still the humanality in me still I have to remind, every time I talk to a guy, when I say guy, I mean man or woman, doesn't matter. But every time I talk to him, I usually start the conversation out with, no matter what comes out of this hole underneath my nose, I need you to know I'm talking to myself too. Every time.
Yeah, check.
And I say, you know, it's none of our business what the hell other people think of us. It is none of my business what anyone else thinks of me. It should have very little impact on any decision I make every day, all day. None. It should have no impact.
Yeah. There's an interesting dichotomy in that. And I've talked about that on this podcast before. Because for me, right, I'm a guy that, on the one hand, I exact same thing. Like, I don't care what people think. At the other end of the spectrum, I absolutely care what everyone thinks. And I'll draw you into this. When you were doing something, I mean, when I was doing something in the SEAL teams, I'd be thinking always like, hey, is this the right thing? What's this going to do to my reputation? What is my buddy going to think of me if I cut the corner here, if I don't do the right thing? So my reputation, the way I was looked at, I did feel that pressure all the time. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, if someone was like, oh, I don't like your clothes or whatever, I don't care at all. But things that I cared about, and from people that I cared about and respected, I always had the attitude that, like, yeah, you know what? I do care what they think. I do care what I'll tell you what, man, one of the hardest things I had to do when I wrote a book. And, like, here you are. You're going to write a book. You know, you're going to write a book about yourself. It's a arrogant, conceited thing to do no matter what you say in the book. It doesn't matter. You're writing a book about you. And you know, Leif, who wrote the book with me, same thing. The primary concern for me was like, what are my bros in the teams going to think of me, right? So that's hard. Yeah, but there's a balance between those two things.
You're right. But let me simplify it. the people that you're never gonna meet.
Yeah.
So I'll Barney style it for you.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to dumb things down for this guy over here.
Everyone at this table. Let's just be honest. The people you're never gonna meet, they will have little to no impact on your life and your well-being henceforth. It doesn't matter. They think they matter, and that's okay. Let them think what they want to think. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, that's 100% right. For sure.
Because it's real easy, especially in the line of work that we do, that we do day to day at 22 Kill, that it's real easy for people to sit on their self-loathing asses behind their computer screen and pass judgment. Mm-hmm. When we continue to grind onward in the face of tremendous loss. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that right there is a test of will and character, all its own. In the face of tremendous loss, to say, okay, we have to step back, we have to reassess, we'll readdress and we'll reengage. Let's adjust our left and right lateral limits, but there's still ground to take and demons to slay. We have to move forward and burn our pain as fuel, because that's what we do. Because if not us, who? And so that all that started when I was standing on those yellow footprints, because you had this